I'm all tripped up now. I'm all tripped up. Do you remember our conversation yesterday?
Probably not.
The Ringer.
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
My guy.
You know who it is?
I can't remember his name.
I got his name. And listen. So
he's an esteemed writer.
Okay. What I said yesterday, real quick Cliff's notes for people who weren't with us. The Ringer's got a guy who puts out his weekly quarterback rankings. Okay? He had Brock Purdy 25th. Forget that ridiculousness. But he had him 5 spots behind Mac Jones.
Steven Ruiz.
So what I said was, congrats, Niners fans. You've made it. You obviously are an engagement Goliath. And that's why people keep putting all of this Niner content on the internet, and they keep saying things that they know are not real. And what I said to you, Dibs, was nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks Mac Jones is better than Brock Purdy. Nobody thinks that. So if you put that on the interwebs, it means you're just, I am over here with a cry for help and attention. That's all you're trying to do. And that's fine. There's plenty of media members out there. Steven is not the only one. But you and I sort of like tiptoe into these conversations because we're like, who's playing who? Because here we are talking about Steven Ruiz. And I'm like, it's not a real topic. Nobody thinks that. So now Luke's in the other room, and I'm already ticked off at Lucas inherently this week because we're going against each other in fantasy.
Luke.
And he's all 4-0, and he's walking around here with a limp. Part of it's because he had surgery. Part of it is because he's cocky. Okay? So I'm already upset. And then Lucas is like, hey, you got to hear what Steven Ruiz had to say. We should get him on.
We got Ruiz audio? We got fresh Ruiz?
I listened to it. Remember yesterday when you accused me of being triggered?
Oh, you were?
No, I wasn't.
And you still are.
No, I am now.
I've never seen you this angry.
Not because of anything you said.
I've got words from Ruiz here, too. His breakdown. He broke down Brock Purdy.
I'm at a crossroads.
Don't call Purdy a game manager. A system quarterback? Sure. But even that may misrepresent his game.
So the question is, and maybe we just get the audience in on this. Do we want this guy on? ... Can I emotionally make it through if we do? So
to me, it's yes and yes. Yes, we want him on. And yes, you can make it through. You're a pro's pro.
Steven Ruiz, the Ringer.
I'm sorry. I watched the film and he's not doing anything. He's running the offense well, and I get the argument that he's a good quarterback for this system, and he's the right quarterback for this system. And then I get yelled at when I rank him 25th. Here's my thing: I'm ranking these quarterbacks not based on their suitability for the Kyle Shanahan system. I'm ranking them based on what they would do in a normal offense, like a league average offense. And if we put Brock Purdy in the league average offense, this game isn't going to lead to top of the league results. The play that made me lose my mind this week was he threw a pass downfield to Brandon Ayuk over the middle of the field. It was probably 30 yards downfield. It was into double coverage. He underthrew the ball by about 10 yards. The Cardinals safety, number 34, overran the ball. He couldn't find it in the air, and then Ayuk tracked it down and caught it. And 49ers Twitter is celebrating this throw. Like when he went to throw the pass, he knew the Cardinals safety was going to overrun it. He knew it. And he knew Brandon Ayuk was going to realize and track the ball and cut off his route short and get it. And that's why he threw it short. He did it on purpose, which is ridiculous.
A little bit of a misrepresentation sensation there. He underthrew him for sure.
On purpose, because quarterbacks throw their receivers open.
I don't know.
They throw the ball.
He didn't underthrow him by 10 yards.
Also accurate. You're right. He didn't underthrow him by 10 yards.
He underthrew him by about 3 yards, and Ayuk had to slow down and adjust his route, and he made the catch. So is that what we're going to use to grade him all the way down to 25? Because Steven Ruiz doesn't know if he underthrew him on purpose. I didn't hear Brock Purdy say, yeah, I underthrew him on purpose. It was a throw that he threw into the area where his receiver could catch it. Is that a problem, Steve?
We have more, Steve.
You got more Ruiz?
Well, we need to hear that. I'm not ready to speak on the first one yet. I'm too angry. So here's more. This is Ruiz openly rooting against the 49ers.
The game is, can the 49ers win the Super Bowl like this?
They
and
can't.
You think they can't?
No.
I think
just
they can.
goes against. If they do, I'm done. I'm not covering the sport again. If they win it with Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, sure, I can get on board with Sam Darnold, not Brock Purdy.
I can get on board with Sam Darnold, not Brock Purdy.
Well, you have your out right there. If the Niners win the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, he's not going to cover this sport anymore.
Well,
so there you go. Go Niners.
I'm rooting even harder now because, Steven, you shouldn't be covering the sport now because you clearly don't get it. Now, this is all of the isms worked into one. Ism is a bad 3 letters to put on the end of things in the English language, right? We have racism. We have sexism. These are bad things. This is nowhere near as serious, but you're doing all of them at once. This is draftism. This is sizeism. This is teamism. This is all of the things at once, all wrapped in to Steven Ruiz. If another quarterback made these throws, he wouldn't say what he's saying. If Tom Brady threw someone open or threw it to open space and a no-name receiver went and got it, whoa, Tom, he's so smart.
He's got Brady at number 11, by the way.
Exactly. He doesn't play anymore. Steve, the most offensive thing he said is the first thing out of his mouth.
I'm sorry. I watched the film and he's not doing anything.
Stop right there. He's not doing anything.
20 for 21.
I mean. And those of you in the anti-Purdy camp who, by the way, you can't even explain why you're still there. There's no reason for you. I don't think you need to love him. You don't need to think he's a future Hall of Famer. I've never said anything like that. To diminish what this guy has achieved is absolutely unacceptable, and you can't do it and sound intelligent. He's not doing anything. First of all, Steve calls it ridiculous. Kyle Shanahan called Steve ridiculous. You tell me which one you want to listen to and believe. The bottom line is to think that an offense is so amazing that the quarterback can go in and perform like this, okay? And it's completely a production of the people around him is not something that exists at the NFL level. You cannot tell me that this man drops back and people like Micah Parsons, trained to destroy him physically, are running at him. And he can function at the NFL to become the highest rated passer, to have never lost a game he finished, to win playoff games as a rookie, and to elevate an offense that's already been in place for 5 years. How on earth, let's just start with that comment, forget all the rest for a second. How on earth can he, quote unquote, be doing nothing? Explain to me how this is even possible.
It's not possible, especially when you look at the numbers. And he watches the game, Mark. He watches the game, okay?
Maybe that's what I'll try. I'll actually watch the game next time.
Yeah, it would probably be helpful.
Because I've just been hearing about it till now.
You've been sitting there with your pom-poms and your red and gold face paint. Brock, yes, you can. You haven't been watching the game, but here's the thing in his own piece that refutes everything he's saying, because if you look at the stats, and I'm not going to go with TDs and INTs and QB rating, I'm going to go to the newfangled stuff that your Steven Ruiz's is all love, such as EPA, expected points added. He is ranked number Number 1 in EPA per play among quarterbacks.
Number 1.
How about success rate? He's ranked number 1.
Number 1.
Mark, in success rate. And in the all-important CPOE, completion percentage over expected, he is ranked 5th, which is...
Number 5.
Thank you, Grandy. You didn't know where we were going. He's ranked number 5. And he goes into his breakdown, and he takes veiled shots at his irrational confidence not being punished by defenses yet. If anything, it's been rewarded. Irrational confidence. A guy who goes 20 for 21, I don't know how you can look at that and think that he's irrationally confident. And even the throw that he talks about in that sound clip that he threw into double coverage, he threw it to the open side of the field in double coverage to where if Brandon Ayuk didn't get to that ball, nobody is getting to that ball.
Exactly.
So it wasn't an irrationally confident throw into double coverage. He threw it to the safe side of the field.
Listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. I mean this genuine sincerity here. And the listeners, I know you guys can call, you can text, YouTube chat. Do you want us to get him on? Because here's why I'm so conflicted. Like, sure, we could have fun and we'll debate and he'll be wrong and we'll be right. And that's great. Whatever. That's fine. That's no big deal. That's sports radio. But there's two things that make me hesitate. Like, that genuinely sort of ticks me off. Not because I'm a Purdy stan. As I've explained to you a few times in the last couple of weeks, I really don't like, this is a life thing. I don't like it when people flick and diminish accomplishment. It's really a freaking disease in this society. It's a disease. People sitting on couches going, what have you done? I don't know. He's quarterback of the 49ers at age 23 and he's never lost a game. Now, you have a computer, so that's cool. But I think most of us have computers. Like, I can't stand that stuff. And the other thing is what we're already knee deep in,
totally,
which is we're promoting the hell out of ridiculousness. And it like, to me, listening to stuff like this, yes, I can effectively keep it playful, but I really don't think it is. It's bad media. It is bad media to have this opinion. You can rank stuff in any direction you want. They're your rankings. As he described them, I'm trying to decide who's a good quarterback in a, quote, league average offense.
Right.
First of all, I could argue, well, why the hell are you doing that? And how is that even possible? That makes your entire thing way overly subjective, number one. But number two, how do we even define what that is? And you're telling me that if given a league average offense, Mac Jones would do better than Brock Purdy? What does that even look like? I don't even know. It's almost, I don't even know what to ask the guy because he's so far past wrong, he can't even smell it anymore. Like, ugh.
You just answered your question.
What a dumb thing to say. Like, truly, he's not doing anything?
He's not doing anything. Okay. I watch the game, Mark.
Okay.
He watches the games, and he's not doing anything. He's largely a product of the system, even though he's number one in the league in EPA per play. And, his completion percentage over expectation is 5th in the league, which is kind of what speaks to what he's talking about, a quarterback with a league average offense. If your CPOE is high, that means you're completing more passes than what the expectation would be in that offense.
If you were some other league average guy.
If any other quarterback had that play, the completion percentage would vary based on did you complete it or not. Every throw, like the Brandon Ayuk pass, that probably has a completion percentage of about 40%. On that throw, into that coverage, in that situation.
Oh, you're talking about the Steelers one?
I'm talking about, the one.
The one against
Arizona. The one that he's talking about.
Yep.
I wonder what the completion percentage expectation is on that throw, because some throws, the expectation is probably 80 to 90%. The quick little swing pass, the pitch and catch, those easy throws. But a throw like that, and he completes it, he gets credit for that. You can't ding him for that.
It's just like, these are the questions that pop in my head. Do you realize, here's question one, do you realize how hard it is to play quarterback in the National Football League?
Of course he does. He watches the game.
You know how hard that is? It seems as if there are humans out there who believe that it's not that hard here. Might be hard other places, but not here.
It's easy. You use your left thumb on the left joystick, and then you use the circle and the square and the X and the triangle buttons, R1 and R2.
Next question. Do you realize what you're saying about Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance? Do you realize what you're saying? Like, call Trey and to his face, tell him that the person who's running the Niner offense is doing nothing. You don't have to do anything in order to do it well. And Trey Lance is the third stringer in Dallas because he couldn't do it. But to do it is nothing. It's a piece of cake. Feather blown around in the wind. I wonder if that thought has occurred to him. Is Jimmy Garoppolo a league average quarterback?
Oh, he's got Garoppolo behind Purdy. Garoppolo's number 26. So there you go.
That's also good to know. All right, next question. Do you realize what you're saying about Kyle Shanahan? Have you called him and informed him that he is 4 times better than any coach who has ever stepped on a sideline in the history of ever? If the 49ers are a machine that whirls without quarterback play, Kyle Shanahan, forget Bill Walsh, forget Bill Belichick, forget Andy Reid, forget anybody named Chuck with the Steelers, forget Lombardi himself. Kyle Shanahan is by far and away the greatest coach in any sport who has ever lived if Brock Purdy is quote-unquote not doing anything. That's amazing. To win all the games in the NFL without a quarterback? That's a hell of a trick.
It's impressive.
That's a hell of a trick, man. Good for Kyle. That's exciting.
I'm looking for the coach rankings, and I don't see him on here. And Kyle, I would imagine, would be number 1.